Today we're stepping away from homebrewing, and we're going to divulge in the chili world for no other reason than it's the best chili I've ever had in my entire life. So we decided to make a video and smear it on the internet. We're making chili from scratch. Nobody's cutting corners today. The only thing we are cutting is fresh onions, chilies, bacon, veggies, and some other tortoise food. There's a lot of key players in this recipe: the bacon, the beans, ground beef, the chill vibes, but most importantly, the beer. All ingredients and step-by-step instructions will be in the description below, but first you need to understand that the preparation is the most important part.
And knowing is half the battle.
So you might want to prep everything the night before or the morning of, but who am I to tell you how to live your life? But once you have everything ready to go, you're pretty much just dumping everything into a big pot. Stick around and this chili will make a man out of you. Alright, so step one, we need food. And full disclaimer, I know nothing about food, let alone cooking it. I don't even know how to make beer.
But he does.
This is our buddy John. He was a pro skater in a past lifetime. You know, fly off a ton of stairs on a wooden board and then try to land on the board when you're at the bottom of the stairs.
Alright, Goman, look directly at the camera and say skate or die.
Fuck off.
But now he's going to help us out with some food videos on this channel. He'll probably be fired in 2 weeks, so enjoy it while it lasts. This recipe will yield 8 servings, or 2 servings if you live like me and Maury. Snag 2 onions, a red one and one that's not red. Cut it up to the best of your human abilities without having to get stitches. You can buy minced garlic, but it comes with all those preservatives that will send you to hell early. So instead we went with our own cloves. 7 to be exact. We'll be using 1 Anaheim pepper, but you could use jalapeno or poblano if you're feeling it. Just make sure you're getting to the skins. Try to minimize as many seeds as you can.
Is this mic'd?
No.
So don't say anything?
Okay. And we're not using chili powder, my friends. We're going to be using 6 dried anchos, 6 dried paseo negros, and 6 dried de-arbols. The de-arbol ones are smaller, but they pack the most heat. Now we're gonna dry toast them. Don't worry about adding any oil to the pot. Just cook them until they start to move around a little bit. You know when they're finished when they burn your eyes.
Go in.
Whoa! Now once you lost your vision, remove the dry peppers and cut off all of the stems. Shake them over a trash can to minimize the seeds. This is a lot of work just to make your own chili powder at home. Now in another bowl, let's break up the peppers. It will kind of feel like old tree bark. This will also help fitting everything into our blender. Big shout out to you right now. You're doing great so far. And get everything in here. Let's add our spices. We didn't have ground cinnamon, so we had to go with the real thing. Crank it up for 1 minute or 60 seconds. And congratulations, you just made chili powder. We're gonna be using bacon instead of oil, lard, or butter today because we messed up and bought the lean ground beef. So we're gonna have to fatten it up. And that's it for the preparation.
So, now that we've prepped all our ingredients, we can start cooking stuff. What we're doing here is sizzling some bacon. We're gonna render some fat out of this bacon, and we're gonna throw in our mirepoix, which is basically just some onions and some Anaheim chili peppers. So we're gonna throw those in. Our bacon's looking fatty, getting kind of that golden brown color, which looks delicious, smells delicious. We're gonna cook it for about 5 minutes till the onions start to look a little translucent.
Say it with me.
Till the onions look translucent.
Now we're going for ground beef.
Today we're gonna put ground beef in our mirepoix. We're gonna chop this bitch up into tiny little pieces, and we're gonna try and brown all this beef. So garlic with some chili oil into our beef, into our mirepoix. Let's go ahead and throw that tomato paste in there. A nice dollop will do ya. Hey, let's make it 2 dollops. That looks good.
We're gonna go with a couple. We want that color, we wanna cook it up.
Now we're doing the chili powder that you saw blended up in the blender that we made from scratch.
Blend it up in the blender.
Blended up in the blender. You can really smell the spices.
This just looks like fun.
Now we're on our way to making chili. Now that we've cooked up our meat, we got it so it's not so chunky. It's more like kind of crumbly meat, like almost like sloppy joes. We got most of the liquid kind of reduced out of there, and it's looking pretty tasty. So now we're gonna add some beer. This is an amber ale, so we're aiming for something a little more malty. We're gonna stay away from the IPAs, sours, fruited beers, and we're gonna just add nice amber, brown, or even a stout would be good. Anything kind of on the malty side, which will add some sweetness. And here we go. Ready to pour some beer in here? Oh. Yeah, that's good.
All right, time to add 8 ounces of homemade chicken stock, and you can kind of eyeball this. If your chili is too runny, just cook it longer. And if your chili is too thick, just add more chicken stock or beer. Let's get on that bean game. Everybody loves beans, even vegans, even this guy. 3 cans to be exact. We're gonna be using kidney beans and then black and white beans for color and contrast. Just stir it all in and stare at the magic. But here's the bad news. We gotta wait an hour.
That's a wrap on this week's video.
Cheers to eating good.
And cheers to drinking good.
Bon appetit.
Cheers.